Hello guys, welcome to this week's review of Ready to Love or Ready for Love? Ready to Love. So the episode starts off with Joel meeting Vern's family. I believe her mother, her stepfather, and her daughter. And of course, I'm not surprised Joel hit it off because Joel is very charming, Joel is very handsome, and on paper they seem so perfect. They look great together, and I really hope this is real. I really hope they make it. But from previous episodes, I don't know. I don't think Joel is serious. It doesn't seem real to me. I hope I'm wrong, but even when they kiss, it's like kind of awkward. Maybe they're just shy to be on camera. When Joel said that Kyra was his number one just because he had an argument with Vernicia, he was like done with her, and then the next episode he's trying to get her back. I don't know about Joel. I don't know if he's really feeling Vernicia like that. But of course, he hit it off with the family. The moment, it was a really good scene. And I really like they talked about their kids and blending the family, and I hope it's real. I hope they work out, but I'm not completely buying it. So next is Jason's turn to meet Liz's family, and to be honest, I was a little bit nervous about how Jason would do, but of course, I think people underestimate Jason because he has such a baby face, but Jason is really smooth and he has a lot of game, and he was smart. He started it off with a prayer, and bam, after that they were hooked, because when he initially came in, no one really got up to greet him. It was just kind of like, okay, who is this? But as soon as he said the prayer, everybody's guards went down. And her brother asked, "What's your favorite scripture?" And he was like, bam, bam, bam. He did not miss a beat. And then they were all impressed with him. So I'm happy about that because, long term, I don't know if Jason and Liz are really compatible, at least at first. But I really do like them together. They're sweet together. I feel like their energies match. So they're another couple I wish would work. And I think they have the highest chance of working out of all the couples. Even though I do feel like Jason was definitely more into Kyra, and because Kyra wasn't really giving him that energy, he decided to go with Liz. But I guess that's real life. You're allowed to like more than one person. So I'm not gonna fault him for that. And if Kyra wasn't really giving him that and he went with Liz, Liz is not, second place really, okay? He's doing well with her, so it is what it is. It's a dating show, so I wouldn't really get too hung up on who's number one, who's number two. It's so annoying when they do that, because this show is called Ready to Love. It is a competition show, but at the same time, you are looking for a real relationship. So if there's something real there and they can make it work, great. Can I also say it's kind of weird to meet people's families when you've known this person for what, like 3 weeks at this point? That is a bit much, but it's a television show and they need to film material, so I get it. So I'm glad that the first 2 meetings went off great. So let's keep watching. So now we get to Amber and KJ. So Amber meets KJ's brother. Let me just say this. I am not buying Amber and KJ at all. At all. Because Amber sits there and says, "Oh yes, we talk and blah, blah, blah. I tell him things that I would never tell anyone. But we see last episode, she didn't even know that he was celibate. Or that he was doing, semen retention, right? If you guys are talking like that, these are the things that I would assume would come up. And also, when even further back, episodes back, when he said he wanted 5 kids, and she was like, what? You wanted 5 kids? You want 5 kids? You didn't tell me that. So every episode, it's like we're seeing new things being brought up. And I'm just like, you guys didn't talk about this before? Why is this just coming up now? And even with KJ, earlier episodes, he says, well, I mean, I don't really know if I want to get married, or marriage is not really something that is important to me, or I'm not in a rush to get married. But then last episode you say you're saving yourself till marriage. So how is that going to work? And why didn't you discuss this earlier on with Amber? And I'm not buying them together. He even whispers to her, oh, thanks for having my back, or something like that. To me, this smells of production, right? It's like they want to redeem KJ because of last season. They want to give him his happy ending. And because he kind of latched onto Amber, production is like, okay, Amber, you better play along. You and KJ till the end. That's what I feel. So they'll play the game, they'll be together until the reunion, and then after they'll quietly break up, right? And we'll never hear from them again. But I just feel like it's KJ's story arc. And that's what's going on. The relationship doesn't feel real to me. They don't seem like they have a connection. They don't seem like they really talk. Now, I can be wrong, but this whole thing doesn't feel real to me. So AJ meets Kyra's mom and her sister, and it goes so. Kyra's mom likes AJ, but her sister is like, I don't know. She said that she felt like the heat is kind of on low with with AJ. But I can also say the same with Kyra. I mean, Kyra's kind of annoying because it's like she expects so much from the men, but for herself, I don't feel like she gives that emotional response herself, right? Like, she expects AJ to do so much, but she herself gives very little, and they are very similar, where they're maybe more intellectual versus emotional, and they both kind of have a guard up and they don't want to say or do too much. And it's like Kyra's waiting for AJ to do something, AJ is waiting for Kyra, also Kyra was waiting for Jason to do something, Jason's waiting for Kyra. And it's like, at some point you do have to put yourself out there, and you have to make that decision for yourself. You can't look to your mom to decide for you, or your sister to decide for you, because between her mom and her sister, it's split. So it's really up to her to decide, are you feeling KJ or not? You do have to take that risk. You have to put yourself out there. And the fact that you're still, I don't know, I'm not sure, it shows that you're really not that interested in AJ. And that's okay. But self-eliminate, right? Like, you're still making this decision, and I guess it's like, if you're not feeling it by now, then you're not feeling it. I'm actually surprised that Kyra gave him a second chance after, their first date outside of the show. I mean, you called him El Cheapo, right? So you already kind of wrote him off. So I'm kind of confused why you're with him now. And every time Kyra talks about AJ, she seems unsure about him. She never really seems that into him. She was more into Jason. But because Jason picked Liz, she's sort of stuck with AJ. And it's like, if you're not feeling him, just be honest. And if you are feeling him, take the risk. Put yourself out there, Don't do anything too crazy. But stop waiting. I mean, this is AJ. This is how he is. He's not a Jason. Like, Jason is more overt with his feelings. I feel like he is definitely more romantic. That's not AJ. This is AJ. This is who he is. He's a bit more reserved. He's a bit more low-key. So if that's not what you want, that's not what you want. Your mom can't make the decision for you, and your sister can't make the decision for you. You have to decide for yourself what you want to do. So Vernicia meets Joel's sister and her niece. And it was a pretty short clip. I just find it interesting. Why is it that all the women in Joel's life feels like Vernicia likes Joel too much, or Vernicia is super clingy? Because from what I see of the show, I don't really get that from Vernicia. I don't really see Vernicia doing too much. Now, there may be soft stuff out of the show that we're not seeing, but I don't get that from Vernicia. So it's just an odd point to make. Like his sister said, oh yeah, she seems like she likes you too much. And that rubs me the wrong way. And this is exactly why I don't know. Joel and Vernicia, I'm not really buying. And I think it comes more from Joel's side. Because it's just like, it seems like he's like, he's kind of indifferent. I just don't get it. I don't see what Vernicia is doing that is too much. If anything, Joel has been the one that really has been doing a lot. That has been the one really pursuing her. At least at the beginning, right? So I don't get it. Maybe there's stuff that she's doing that we are not seeing, but from the clip that we saw, it didn't look like she was doing too much. Actually, I like Vernicia, so I don't get it, right? I do not get it at all, and I wonder if maybe Joel is in their ear telling them things, and that's kind of a red flag to me, right? I mean, you've known this lady for what, 3 weeks at this point, and if you're ready going to your family, to your friends, and you're talking a bunch of crap about her, what's gonna happen later on down the road, right? So Vernicia, I mean, I wish it was real. I wish you guys would have worked, but this doesn't seem right to me. KJ meets Amber's family. It was a pretty short clip. We didn't get too much out of it, but it seems like he made a good impression. Or conspiracy theory. Like I said before, I feel like production is really trying to protect KJ. They're really giving him that redemption arc. So they're not going to show anything that makes him look bad, right? They're not going to do too much. So it seems like Amber's family liked him from the short clip that we saw. So, I don't know. Moving on. So Kyra meets with AJ and AJ's mom. And I'm going to say this. I'm not feeling AJ's mom. And I'm also not feeling Kyra after this scene. If you look at all the other meetings before, the family kind of interrogates the person that their family member brings into the situation to see if they are a right match for them, right? To see if that person is good for their family member. With AJ's mom, she was putting AJ down. She was putting AJ down in front of Kyra, making him seem, not like a good person. It didn't really seem like her intention was to really get to know Kyra to see if she was a good match for AJ. It was more so putting down AJ in front of Kyra. And Kyra was eating it up. Kyra was loving it, right? She was loving that sort of attention, like, oh yes, I'm better, I'm superior, blah, blah, blah. Not to say AJ is perfect, but Kyra, she hasn't really brought much to the situation. And then for her in her confessional to say, I'm still deciding what I'm going to do, and I'm over Kyra. If you're still deciding what you're going to do, then move on. Clearly, you're not really into AJ. And I just think it's really messed up for AJ's mom to essentially kind of throw him under the bus like that. That's just not a good look. And I can understand why. Because when Kyra's mom asked AJ, how's your relationship with your mother? AJ said, I'm in a good place. And now I see why. Now I see why he said that. Because it can be very hard to be around someone that seems to kind of enjoy or get off of putting you down. And I'm not saying AJ is perfect, but for your own mother to put you down on national television in front of a woman that you are interested in, that's pretty messed up to me. And kind of saying, oh, AJ likes to pick up different projects, so, I hope he's not doing that with you. What does that mean? So, okay, he learned to play the piano by himself, and then he stopped playing the piano. What does that mean? Is he gonna... how does that relate to dating? Now, who knows, maybe the mother knows something about AJ. Maybe, he is 38 and then he's not settled down, so in her mind it's like, okay, he's not serious. But even if all that is true, this is your son. You should have his back. You should be lifting him up, right? You shouldn't be putting him down. So that just rubbed me the wrong way. Kyra rubbed me the wrong way. I'm done. I'm done with the both of them. I'm done with Kyra at this point. So we get to the part where the couples have to make their final decision, right? So KG and Amber, they choose each other. Sure, okay. Joel and Vernicia, they choose each other. Sure. Liz and Jason, obviously, they both choose each other. And the way they were kissing, I'm like, okay, good luck with your celibacy. Good luck with that, because that was a very passionate kiss. And can I just say this? Amber and KG's kiss seemed a lot more real than Joel's and Vernicia. I don't know what it is. Every time they kiss, it's just so like they're pretending. They're giving one of those fake kisses for camera. There's no passion in it. There's no, I hate to say it, but there's no tongue. I've just noticed that. It's just like they're just kissing each other on the lips and they just kind of stay there and that's it. There's no passion in that. That's why I don't know. I'm not buying them. Like, come on. If KG and Amber can give me more of a kiss than you guys, I don't know. Something's up. Okay? And of course, finally and obviously, AJ chooses Kyra. Kyra does not choose AJ. And we all saw this coming. It was pretty clear that Kyra was not into AJ at all. She was more into Jason, but I don't even think she was really into Jason. And you know that scene from last episodes or 2 episodes ago where Jason is talking to Kyra and asking her, what do you want? How do you feel about the situation? And later on, Jason's reasoning for having that moment with Kyra was that he wasn't buying her. He wasn't really feeling like he wasn't really feeling what she was saying. He felt like she was just playing games. And I do feel like Jason was definitely into Kyra. Kyra was definitely his number one at the beginning. But kind of seeing the way that she does move, I kind of get what he was saying. I mean, I don't believe it, but I kind of see what he was saying, where he kind of wanted to know if she was legit, if she was real. Because, I mean, why not eliminate yourself earlier on? Because I feel like you knew. You knew you were not interested. And you have this man sitting at a piano playing you a song that he wrote for you called I Chose You. Like, oh my god, that was just so cringy. But, I mean, it is kind of silly to know someone for 3 weeks and then say, I found love and you're ready to commit. I mean, that is definitely not enough time. So at the end of the day, I mean, she could have just kept going with it. But she didn't. You know, at that point, she decided to end it. And although I was hard on Kyra, I can understand. I think she's more of an intellectual, and she's not too much in touch with her emotions. You know, she's not that type of person that's just gonna go with it and see where things go. She wants to make the right decision. And in reality television, you know, we all know what it is. We know that these couples aren't gonna be running to the altar after these scenes, right? It's just people want to see a happy ending. But what usually happens with most of these couples, they break up right after, right? So we're not expecting much. So I'm not going to be too harsh on Kyra. If she's not feeling AJ, she's not feeling AJ. And at the end of the day, you know, they can still continue today and see where things go. So it's not a big deal. So it is what it is. Overall, I really enjoyed this season of Ready to Love. It was a good season, but like previous seasons, the way the show is set up, it's not really designed to find love. It's a competition. It's a competition show. You know, this is not, like I said, this is not about finding love. I would like for next season, though, if they get they have, you know, Uncle Nephew or whatever the hell his name is. They have him, but they should definitely have a woman, you know, to kind of coach and help the woman. And I wish it was more of, not therapy, but definitely have someone that they can talk to kind of help them through the process. So it can kind of give off the air that they're actually really trying to help the couple instead of it just being pure entertainment and drama. But the way the show is set up with people, as long as you have people getting eliminated, I mean, it's a competition show. It is what it is. I think the show is more valuable to see kind of maybe the mistakes that we make in dating. You know, it's more of a social experiment, and in that way it is interesting. So I do enjoy the show. I'm looking forward to the reunion. The reunion seems juicy, so I cannot wait to see which couples are still together and which couples are, you know, finito. The only couple I think will probably make it is Jason and Liz. I hope. So that's everything. See you guys. Bye.